Welcome, everyone. Welcome to our new year Brule Break-a-thon. I'm Peter Bowden. I'm here with the amazing Tara Sage, author of The Brules of Life.
What was your biggest lesson learned in 2021? I want to hear from you, Peter. I'm also just rolling, so I want to share my answer. I've been thinking about this question a whole lot lately. And basically what I've come to is that my biggest lesson is that there's always a way. There's always a way if you think outside the box. And again, this past 2 years has really taught us how to do that, whether it was wanted or not. That it's a key skill that we have to build. You know, every time I felt trapped or kind of limited or confined, I was prompted to think outside the box and find new ways and new avenues and new creative solutions. And I think that's so relevant to our rule breaking topic today, because it's really, I think, worth highlighting that rethinking conventions is the antidote to a lot of that trapped, kind of limited, confined feeling and all the challenges that none of us have been immune to over these last couple of years. So I'm curious, I'd love to hear from people watching, like, what's been your biggest lesson learned from this past year?
I've been thinking on this. This is a hard one. For me, Tara, my greatest insight comes from our discussion the other day talking about this question. And it's that one of the things I do professionally is help organizations, communities, different leaders adapt to digital life, like still do community-oriented work, but adapt. And so when the pandemic hit, like where everyone's like, we have to go online. So there's rush to innovate. And I really felt grateful to be able to help organizations do that. But then that's like 2020. But then this last year, there's a lot of move back to like, let's go back to the way things were. And part of me is like, no, there's no going back. Like there's so much great innovation that people were reaching and amazing things we're actually accomplishing because we had to go online. And something you mentioned, which has just been sitting with me ever since, is you have to kind of try and go back a little bit to test whether that old normal is still viable.
Right.
And so Peter, don't be so judgy of people going back and testing, like, oh, can we go back to the way things were? Like, if we don't do anything online and just try and gather, like, is it going to work? And so to not be like, what are you doing? Like, don't you know, like, the digital's here to stay. It's like, no, of course, like, try. But if it doesn't work out, just know that we got to go back this way.
So, you know, I have to remind myself of that too, because I've been location independent for, well, the last 4 years in my Airstream, but like really 17 years that I've been coaching, it's been location independent. I've worked with people over the telephone from the beginning, you know, and I think we have to remind ourselves that this might be second nature for us, but there are people who need to test the waters and see, like, can it still work? Like, let me go try on the thing that you and I know probably won't fit very well, but hey, go find out. And if it works for you, then great.
Right. So if anyone has lessons they've learned from the last year that you want to share in the comments, we'd love to see them. And make sure you subscribe to Tara's YouTube channel. If you're watching on my channel, you can hop over to youtube.com/TaraSage, hit subscribe and the bell notification so YouTube knows you want more of her content. She's going to be sharing more about the rules of life and the things we go over in this live stream in the days and weeks to come. So make sure you subscribe to her channel.